Hey, welcome back. So, recovery is this lifelong journey, right? But that doesn't mean it has to be a constant uphill battle. It's really about building a happier, freer life for yourself. Today, we're going to explore a really practical guide to make that journey feel manageable, hopeful, and most importantly, completely your own. Let's dive in. I love this quote from Joseph Campbell because it just perfectly captures the spirit of recovery. See, it's not about what you're losing. It's all about making space for this new, more authentic life that's been waiting for you the whole time. You can almost think of it like an adventure in self-discovery. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Life doesn't just hit pause because we start recovery. Challenges are always going to pop up. So how do we stay the course without getting totally knocked off balance? Well, that is exactly what we're going to get into today. Okay, first things first, let's kind of reframe how we think about this whole thing. This is not about sprinting to some finish line. Nope. It's much more about learning to navigate the road, no matter what the weather's like outside, and just recognizing that this is a lifelong journey. That's the first huge step toward mastering it. So, since we know that challenges are just a given, we need a reliable toolkit, right? So, based on the amazing work of Dr. Lane Lasater, we're going to break down two incredibly effective tools, a kind of early warning system and a really practical action plan. Let's kick things off with the first tool. I want you to think of it like the dashboard in your car. It's your personal emotional instrument panel, and it's designed to give you a quick, really clear reading of your internal state. You know, your feelings and your actions, they're just data. They're not good or bad, they're just indicators. And this panel helps you read those signals so you can see a problem starting to develop long before it ever becomes a crisis. It's all about proactive awareness instead of reactive panic. Okay, so here it is, the full instrument panel. And you can see it's color-coded from green all the way to black. The goal here is super simple, just to check in with yourself and honestly ask, where am I on this panel right now? So let's break down what each of these zones actually means. All right, the green zone. This is your sweet spot. It's when you feel directed, efficient, and just plain good about life. This is where your self-care is really working, your relationships feel solid, and you feel balanced. And when you're here, just take a second to acknowledge it and appreciate what's working so well. But what if you're feeling frustrated or maybe a little inefficient or just worried? Well, you've probably drifted into the yellow zone. Think of this as your check engine light. It's not an emergency, but it is a clear signal to just pause for a second and ask, hey, what's going on here? Am I tired, hungry, lonely, or stressed out? Now, the orange zone. This is a more serious alert. Here, you're not just feeling off, you're starting to act off. Maybe you're neglecting your self-care, or you're falling back into some old behaviors, or maybe you're picking fights with people you love. This is a big, clear sign that requires immediate, deliberate action to get back on track. And finally, we have the red and black zones. These represent a crisis. Burnout, depression, despair, these are the flashing red lights and the blaring alarms. When these signals are going off, it is not the time to sit around and wonder what to do. It's time for a clear, immediate action plan. And that brings us to our second and absolutely crucial tool. So, what do you actually do when one of those warning lights comes on? Well, you turn to your second tool, the well-being checklist. Think of this as your step-by-step guide to getting yourself back to that green zone. This is your action plan. This checklist has 6 core areas, and they're all designed to bring you back into balance. It starts with your internal world, how you talk to yourself and how you take responsibility. Then it moves to your direct actions, your self-care, your environment. And finally, it connects you to a bigger perspective through gratitude and service. The first, and honestly the most fundamental step, is self-compassion. That negative self-talk, it just creates a downward spiral. But shifting your inner monologue from something like, I always mess up, to I'm learning through experience, that isn't just changing a few words. You're changing your entire emotional trajectory. Next up is your daily self-care plan, and this is about treating yourself as a whole person. It goes way beyond just diet and exercise. It includes your emotional well-being, your spiritual connection, and your need for fun. So let's say your instrument panel shows you're in the orange zone because you've been picking fights. You can use this checklist to figure out, hey, maybe the real issue is that I'm exhausted or I really need to talk to a friend. This plan helps you diagnose the problem and then act on it. So how do we make all this a daily reality? Once you have the tools, the next step is to weave them into your life with simple, consistent practices that are going to keep you on course. Okay, this right here is the golden rule. Seek progress, not perfection. You don't have to get it right every single day. The goal is just to keep moving forward. If you make a mistake, learn from it with some compassion and just get back on track. Because those big changes you want, they're always the result of small, consistent steps.
I absolutely love this one. It's such a great metaphor for life. When someone is behaving badly, an aggressive driver on the road, a critical coworker, you don't have to engage. Letting their negativity provoke you only pulls you off your course. Just let them go. It's not your battle to fight.
Now, this one might sound like a paradox, but trust me, it's incredibly powerful. It means letting go of all the stuff you can't control, other people, outcomes, the past, and focusing all your energy on the one thing you can control, your own choices and actions, right here, right now. And of course, this is the ultimate expression of that surrender to win idea. This simple contemplation is such a powerful daily tool to just ground yourself, to find some peace when things feel uncertain, and to focus your energy where it's actually going to make a difference. So when you start to put all of this together, the awareness you get from your instrument panel and the action you take with your checklist, something really amazing starts to happen. You move from just surviving to actively designing your own future. See, recovery isn't just about stopping destructive behaviors. That's just the first step. The real prize is what comes next, the freedom to consciously and deliberately build a life that actually aligns with your true self, a life that's filled with purpose, connection, and real joy. And let's be real, life is always going to have its challenges. The difference is, you no longer have to face them unarmed. You now have the tools, the awareness, and the strength to navigate whatever comes your way with clarity and with confidence. You are fully equipped for this journey. So the question is no longer about how to just avoid the bumps in the road. It's about where you want that road to take you. You have the map, you have the compass. The only thing left to decide is, what's your new destination?